Hey everyone, Mountain Grandma here, and welcome to our Tea of the Week video. So this week I'm making a couple of things. This will be like part one. Keep an eye out for the next video. The two things are for nerve health, we'll say. One thing that I did tea-wise, I kind of shook up my recipe that I shared with you in T1 to include some herbs that are nerve tonics, and I took some of the herbs that were in that one out just to kind of account for the difference there. And the other thing that I did is I needed to make another batch of my pain oil, which is effective for nerve pain. So I'll be sharing that with you in another video. Before I get started, I wanted to just talk about herb safety just for a little bit. So a lot of you might notice that some of the herbs that I'm using are the same herbs that I'll use in different recipes. And the reason for that is they're herbs that I've researched and I'm comfortable with. And I know that they're herbs that work well with my constitution and my husband's constitution. I know how they interact with medications that we might take. And so I want to encourage all of you to do your research on different herbs. When you use herbs in a blend, you are less likely to have a side effect from them, simply because you've got more herbs in there. So if you think about, if you're going to just take a tea of one herb and fill a tea bag up and use one herb to have that tea, if you were going to have a side effect to it, you're likely to experience that where you might not have a side effect at all if it's in a blend with different herbs. It really just depends on what the herb is. But I want to mention that. So do your research, look into things for yourself, and I wanted to share a couple of books that you might want to see if you can get your hands on, especially if you're new to herbs, or even really if you're making herbs for other people. So anyhow, here's one of them. This is Herb Contraindications and Drug Interactions. This is a great book to have for everybody, especially if you're in medications, because it'll tell you what's going to interact with your medications. You could look up any ACEs or ARBs, those are hypertension medications, any channel blockers, they're going to be listed in here, blood thinners, and they'll give a list of herbs to watch for. Likewise, the book lists herbs and then lists the contraindications health-wise for those herbs. So that's a great book. As you can see, it's not large, it's not heavy. I don't even think this was expensive. I don't recall paying a lot of money for this. I got it when I started my herbal course, and this looks like a beast, and it is, but it's awesome. This is a physician's desk reference for herbal medicine, for all your herbs. It lists all of them. It has pictures. It lists just about everything you can think of. Believe it or not, there's some that aren't in here. And believe it or not, it's not all inclusive. I've actually found information somewhere else that wasn't in this book. Likewise for this book. So that's another point I want to mention. Never listen to just one person. Don't just listen to me. Don't just listen to somebody else. Never read just one book. You need to have different references, because the people that write these books, first off, there is no licensing agency in the United States, like a federal licensure that's available for herbalism. I don't know, maybe that's a good thing, really. Some of the people that are the most knowledgeable about herbs might be your elderly people that use them all their life. They could be your Native American medicine men and women. They could be, a Chinese practitioner or maybe somebody that just grew up with that historical knowledge, whether it's Chinese herbal medicine or Ayurvedic herbal medicine. There's so many wealths of information. What people know is what they use. So I have I've helped some of my friends and family members. I've never been paid to treat any patients. And I don't know that I would ever even charge to do that. I really just want to help people. But I would advise you to get those books when you look at herbs for yourself. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the tea. when I write out my recipe, and I'm going to share this process with you. If you're not interested, fast forward to the recipe part. I go through the herbs that I know. So the deal is my husband was getting like some shocking kind of pains, like funny bone kind of pains. Yes, he's had blood work done. I'm sure he's probably, I think he's dehydrated, but we'll let the doctors see what they think too. But while they're doing that, I might as well see if I can't put together a tea that's going to help balance his body. With herbalism, that's what you want to think of. You don't want to think of curing disease or curing any problems. You want to think about bringing the body into balance so that the body can cure itself. That's kind of the premise behind herbalism, particularly Chinese herbalism, Ayurvedic herbalism. Western herbalism is just a little bit different in that it likes to target one organ system. So in other words, I'm sure you've heard, like, if you have a headache, they want to say, what herb is going to help your headache? So if you have a headache, it could be a slew of things, and I might do another video on that another time. But you've got to bring the body into balance, let the body cure itself. So when I was thinking about making this tea, I was thinking I want a lot of the stuff that I put in the other one, because lemon balm, for example, I know that that is a good relaxant. It's good for your nervous system. And it also is said that lemon balm will work synergistically with other herbs that have an effect on the nervous system and increase the potency of them. And as you know, it takes a lot of herbs to really do much. That's one of the difficulties with herbalism compared to your pharmaceutical medication. You could take a pill versus drink X number of teas or have X number of doses of tincture every day, and it's hard for people to maintain compliance with that. So lemon balm, that was a good one. I put that one in there. 2 parts lemon balm. Oat straw. I did not use this in any of the tea videos I've shared so far, but oat straw is a huge nerve tonic for your body. And if you look into oat straw benefits, you're going to see your nervous system health like right up there at the top. It's just that good for you. And it's also, I wrote some of this down because the nutritional quantities of vitamins and whatnot, I don't remember those well. It is rich in calcium, potassium, iron, vitamin A, C, fiber, antioxidants, and it's also high in B complex vitamins. So B complex, that's another reason I wanted that in there. Likewise, I added in raspberry leaf, partly because I want to maintain, I like raspberry leaf. It's good for me. I know it's his tea, but I'm going to drink it too. So, but the raspberry leaf is also high in B complex vitamins. And the reason I'm kind of liking that and even mentioning it is because anatomically, if you look at your physiological structure of your nerves themselves, they're surrounded by something called a myelin sheath. And so the myelin sheath is actually, gosh, how do I say this? Those B complex vitamins have a very healthy impact on the myelin sheath that surrounds the nerves themselves. So that was a plus. I wanted to have that. I also added in nettle. Not a lot of nettle. I'll have to go back. I'll put up the recipe in the video. But I added in nettle also. As you know, that's like a good multivitamin. You can't go wrong with nettle. And it's high in B vitamin. Again, looking for that B vitamin content. And I want this to be just a good tea. And I threw in peppermint and spearmint both. You're going to notice whenever I do any sort of tea with mint, I always blend my peppermint and spearmint. Peppermint actually relaxes the sphincter on your stomach, and anybody who ever has any kind of acid reflux, it causes them to have an issue with that because it relaxes that sphincter and it can let some of the acids up through. So peppermint and spearmint combined, so there's not too much peppermint. And just a little bit of marshmallow leaf. And the reason I use marshmallow leaves is because my husband runs very dry. And anytime somebody runs dry, you can think about your demulcent herbs like slippery elm bark, marshmallow leaf, or, gosh, what are some other ones? Those are the two that come to mind probably because of the two that I have on hand. But anyone who's on medication, marshmallow leaf, any of your demulcent herbs that you're going to drink, they can impact your medications by slowing down the absorption of those medications into your body. So that's just a good thing to note. And I use just a small amount of that because I don't want to interfere with any medications, and we're both going to be drinking this. So, because I'm going to use it like a daily tea. Here's my daily tea. So here it is. 2 parts lemon balm, 2 parts oat straw, 1 part raspberry leaf, 1 part nettle, a half a part marshmallow leaf, a half a part peppermint, a half a part spearmint. And when I'm making it for myself, I'm putting ginger in it. If he likes it, I'll give him ginger too, but some days he doesn't care for the ginger. So, whereas I like it all the time. And lime, ginger and lime is always awesome in these teas. So there it is, and I hope you all get a chance to make this tea. It tastes really good. If ever you're feeling like you're just tightly wound, nervous, or you're having some of the pins and needles in your feet kind of thing happening more often, drink some tea. You can make a tea that helps to balance your body. No, it's not going to be, a big fixer to the whole scenario. But any little thing we can do to bring ourselves into balance is just a good thing to do. So thank you so much for watching. And again, go drink some tea, and I'll catch you on the next one.